consider it. They're going to consider it.
Bro,
if
they
Lamar
need offensive
Jackson,
line help.
let me tell you, if Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield, or Josh Allen is available at the tail end of the first round, there's going to be a lot of teams that consider. Bro, you're talking about
AJ Green's
the
Ravens. Trade me now.
The Ravens are even going to consider a quarterback at 16. There's a lot of teams that are going to consider a quarterback.
Receivers and a tackle.
There's a lot of teams that are going to consider a quarterback. All right, go ahead. Give me a touchdown now from my draft. Something you actually like or you're intrigued by.
I'm intrigued by Denzel Ward falling all the way to the Green Bay Packers at 14. I don't know how you finesse that. But, yeah, that'd be interesting if he fell all the way to the Packers and they take a corner of his status and develop him.
Yeah, my whole thing with the DBs in this class is there's a lot of them and there's a lot of good ones. So scheme fit, and I had a problem kind of like fitting them all in different spots. Like even if you look at the top, because the top of my draft is quarterbacks 1, 2, 3. So after that, it's kind of like just best player available, which Roquan, Barkley, Chubb.
You do have Darnold going first.
And then I have Fitzpatrick falling to number 9, which is low.
That's a good range for him, though.
DB. No, that's a good range for him, but I've seen him go as high as 4. I've seen him go as high as 2 or 3.
5 to 9 is a realistic range for Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't get Minkah Fitzpatrick at 4. I don't think he's going to be a game changer to that level. Because I don't think he's a true safety. And if he is, he could be a good free safety / slot corner, but I'm not going to go out and say he's going to be that great. That's kind of excessive. And he is an Alabama corner. Don't forget that.
I like Roquan at number 9 to the 49ers. I think that's a touchdown. I think that's a perfect scenario for them to get a replacement for Reuben Foster.
It hurt me to type that in. It hurt me deeply. And we've been in group chats talking about that. It really hurt.
Pretty much.
He's like a Patrick Willis clone, and Willis went all the way to 11. And he's almost faster than Willis. Almost. He was a former receiver in high school. He's playing middle linebacker.
So, at number 10, we both have the Raiders taking Tremaine Edwards, which is crazy.
Edmonds, yeah.
So, you want to give your take on that?
I think he's the perfect fit for that defense because they'll try him at middle linebacker, and if that doesn't work, then they'll put him at outside linebacker right with Khalil Mack in front of him. They already have smallish defensive ends. Khalil Mack isn't the biggest guy in terms of height and weight. Neither is Bruce Irvin, but clearly with the type of defense what Gunther ran with the Bengals and what the Vikings have, they kind of want to mimic that. So you have somewhat small elite pass rushers, not small, but
I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
see, when I was looking at it was
he could fill multiple roles.
With Bruce Irvin moving to full-time defensive end, I just thought, okay, the Raiders need a Sam linebacker. They need a middle linebacker, and Edmonds can play both.
And depending on where you put him.
I think in my mock draft, though, is probably the worst-case scenario for the Raiders because I had Fitzpatrick, I had Roquan, I had Barkley, I had Chubb, all gone. I think those are probably the Raiders' top selections. So at that point, I was considering between Edmonds, Davenport, Gusay, Ward, Ridley, and McGlinchey.
For real, him that high at 10?
I mean,
I feel like you can get Ronald Jones in the second round.
That's why I didn't pick him.
Rashad Penny in the third round.
That's why I didn't pick him. But I think you definitely have to consider him because he's a physical runner. He can catch. He's fast. He's powerful. He's basically Marshawn Lynch light.
Yeah.
So
he's like 0.3 of a second slower than Marshawn was.
But ideally, if that scenario plays out, my scenario plays out, the Raiders should probably best trading out.
If they can't get Edmonds or Roquan, they should trade out. I think they should probably trade with the Bills or, dare I say it, the Patriots.
All right, and then you have the Chargers taking Colton Miller, and I have the Chargers taking
Mike McGlinchey, who I think won't be there. I think he'll be gone.
Yeah, I think that was pretty low for him, but it's just kind of how my draft played out.
He didn't run him and Nelson didn't really run 40s because I think they're probably on the slower side, but they have functional play speed, so it doesn't really matter.
Because I was considering McGlinchey with the Packers, with the Bills. No,
they got Jason Spriggs. They got Balaga still.
Come on, dog. Jason Spriggs hasn't been anything in the league.
He's been playing right tackle forever.
He's not very good. They could use an upside, and McGlinchey can realistically play off all 4 offensive line positions. He could probably even play center, realistically.
No, they don't need it. They have Lindsley. But I just think, especially since there's rumors that
but yeah,
Aaron
basically
Rodgers is frustrated the Packers aren't consulting him. I have Harold Landry going there because Clay Matthews is getting old. Nick Perry is inconsistent, and I think if you get Harold Landry, you can move Clay Matthews multiple places all over your defense.
I like Landry a lot, but I actually had him sliding down to 19 at the Cowboys, which is probably an ideal spot for him.
That'd be the steal of the draft.
Yeah, that would be the steal of the draft for him.
But I think the Cowboys they have to get a receiver in the first round. They have to.
I agree with you, but if Landry falls there, you have to take him. At 19, when you need a pass rusher, that's kind of like that whole...
I passed on.
I think that's the Anthony Spencer, DeMarcus Ware tandem between Lawrence and
I think Spencer's not
Landry.
It's not as good as Landry, though. Landry has an array of moves. It's just he's so athletic.
Nah, he doesn't. He doesn't have them yet. His move's a head fake.
He led the nation in sacks.
Inside and outside. That's about it.
I mean,
he didn't even play in every down, which you can check out my breakdown of him on fullpresscoverage.com, so plug to me.
I think, if anything, DeMarcus Lawrence is the elite pass rusher on that team, right?
Yeah, he's the only one.
But he has a similar build to Anthony Spencer because he played linebacker in
D. Yeah, but Lawrence has put on a lot of weight now. He's more strength. He's more of a strength
But he's
player.
Not as freakishly athletic as DeMarcus Ware. So I think Landry is more of that mold as far as athleticism and fluidity.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Landry
would be
he'll have
an
Anthony Spencer impact. That's why I agree with you. He'll have an Anthony Spencer-esque impact. But I don't think he'll get hurt and banged up. And Rob Marinelli is an amazing D-line coach. So whatever D-lineman goes to Dallas, I think that's why they're not really worried about getting someone in the first round. They'll make if they get Josh Sweat in the second round, I would be horrified.
And the Rams, they don't have a first round pick, so we didn't.
Or the Chiefs, or the Texans.
But another interesting pick that I have from you, which I'm gonna say is a turnover, is Jair Alexander to the Seahawks, and here's why. Not because I don't think Jair Alexander is a first round player, or because I don't think that
he fits their scheme.
Yeah, scheme fit. He's a little bit on the smaller side.
So is Shaquille Griffin.
And I feel like they're going to go more in the
Josh Jackson. That I was finagling with that, but I'm like, I don't think they want that blueprint anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think
I think Josh Jackson might be best to move to free safety.
That's all Iowa corners, though.
Exactly, and he runs a 4.5, as you like to point out.
No, he ran a 4.6. He ran a 4.46 at his pro day or whatever. They said 4.42. I think he's fast enough. I just think he's better suited for a team. He'll be suited for somebody like Tampa.
Even Mike Hughes is bigger.
That's fine, but he's not fast. He's not. Mike Hughes should have went back another year, but he's still
he's best still football on that ahead fringe. Of him. He's on that fringe.
His best football is ahead of him. That's why I got him going somewhere good in the second round. Yeah, I don't like Davenport to the Dolphins because they just got Robert Quinn.
Yeah, but I see Davenport as a 3 technique.
And Kevin Wake.
I see Davenport as a 3 technique, I see him replacing Sue.
What did you just say?
I see Davenport as a 3 technique.
Okay, I want you to say that again, knowing that he runs a 4.58 40.
No, I know he runs a 4.58 40. That's why I think he should play 3 technique.
That's what? No, you might as well get Vita Vea.
No, I think he should play.
Who do they have at nose tackle? That's really good. They have 2 elite pass rushers.
Jordan Phillips.
Exactly. That's a trash pick. You know that's a trash pick.
No, I actually really like that.
You really think he's going to play 3 technique defensive tackle in the NFL?
I think he should play 3 technique.
He runs a 4.58.
He doesn't have the. He doesn't have the bend to play.
He doesn't have the strength to play.
He doesn't have the. He doesn't have the. Well, that's why I don't.
That's why defensive end everywhere else.
That's why I don't think the Raiders should take him at number 10 because of what you just said right now.
Defensive end.
What you just said right now.
He's not Jihadi Ward, bro. He's not complete garbage. He's actually
faster, way faster.
He runs a 4.58. I'm not letting a guy who runs a 4.58 play D tackle anywhere on my defense unless it's like a NASCAR package. He's an edge rusher.
He doesn't have the bend or the hands.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm not playing.
He's fast, athletic.
I would play him at 3 technique and let him use his speed.
In Dallas.
I would let him use his speed to get into the backfield and be disruptive and make plays that way.
4.58 40. Do you hear yourself? Man, that is crazy.
And I'm telling you, as a guard, those are the scariest people to block. The people that should be playing DN that slide inside the 3 technique.
So Seattle would be a better fit for him. If you're gonna
but I don't think he's gonna go that far.
I don't see
someone's gonna reach for him. Somebody's gonna reach for him.
I think if he goes to Washington, that's a fair spot. Anything before Washington, I don't really trust it. Like I think he has to go I think if he ends up in Detroit, that's the perfect situation for him. Because Ziggy Ansah's on one side. He can just kind of figure things out. You have... I'm kind of shocked at this. You have Vita Vea falling all the way to 20. To the Lions.
That's not a perfect spot for him, though?
Nah.
That's a perfect spot for him. Think about it. The Lions are moving to a 3-4 defense. They need a nose tackle or run stuffer, whatever you want to put it. You can play him as a 2-gapper, 5 technique. You can play him as a over the shade nose tackle. That's perfect.
I had him going to Washington because that's really all they need. They have edge rush. They have Preston Smith, Ryan Kerrigan. They have.
I was considering him at that high.
I think he would stabilize their defense. He would allow them. Yeah, he would allow them more flexibility with their fronts, and he would make Mason Foster's job way easier, and Zach Brown.
But then I just thought about,
and they're gonna get corners too.
But I thought about how Dallas kind of got over the edge, getting Ezekiel Elliott, and then I thought that's kind of what the Redskins should follow as far as getting a running back to really take the pressure off of Alex Smith. And so that's why Gusay was my pick for them at number 13.
Yeah, I get it, but I just feel like you don't want to reach high on a running back in this draft, but Vita Vea is a particular scheme fit for certain teams. All right,
I'll give you another touchdown on yours. Carolina Panthers getting Josh Jackson. I feel like that's a perfect pick for them because he can play outside, he can play inside, he can play safety.
That's
a steal. That's a steal for them.
He's like the rookie version of Josh Norman.
Yeah, that's
I think he's a clone, but better.
I was thinking of that at number 13, but I was like, no, I don't think they want 2 physical corners like that. That's too much.
They already gave away Kendall Fuller, so they got to get a slot guy in this draft. But I think he would be perfect. But obviously, I think he could end up going higher.
And then we both have Rashaan Evans going to the Titans, which is weird.
Because that's the one place you can hide him. Because I don't think he runs a 4.7.
Yeah, and I would
pay money. I know he's not fast.
I was gonna say I feel like that was a reach for me, but then I was like, it's kind of not.
You have to hide a guy like him.
Makes sense,
in a 3-4
but
defense.
I kind of felt bad about it. Like I kind of felt like I was reaching.
I was like, he'd be perfect in New England, but they already have Dante Hightower, who actually is fast enough to do everything. But that's the one spot. Like they get him. Now, you have Isaiah Wynn going to the Bengals. I like that one.
Yeah.
I like that. I personally would prefer Will Hernandez. I think Will Hernandez would be the second guard off the board.
I agree with that. The only reason why I went with Wynn is because he has guard and tackle versatility, and the Bengals need to just get their offensive line together.
I don't think he's
as a whole.
I don't think he's as good as Cordy Glenn to where you can put him at left tackle, though.
They need to figure their deal out.
Yeah, I don't think he's as good as Cordy Glenn to where you could put him right at left
tackle. Real
tackle.
quick, before we move on, I'll give you a couple other interesting picks from the bottom of your draft. So you got Cortland Sutton going to the Jaguars, which is interesting because they did lose a couple of their big receivers and they don't have a ton of needs. And you already have a lot of the defensive players gone, so I could see that happening.
He's a safe enough
pick. It's kind of scary, but at the same time, he might be a bust or might get buried on the depth chart. That's the only reason why I would be scared of that.
Or he might be a position guy, just a possession receiver.
Justin Reed to the Steelers is dope, except for they need inside linebacker help. And they've already invested in a couple safeties the past 3 drafts. So
I don't
really see that happen.
You have Leighton Vander Esch going to the Steelers at 28. I have him going higher.
Yeah. And then Daron Payne, I was trying to fit him into my first round, but it didn't really happen. I think him going to the Patriots is